my last video, I talked about the general red flags in relationship. That is, these are the things that are actually common in a generalized concept. This is going to be an extension of the former video, and I'm going to be spelling out some, or mostly some behavioral patterns of men that is actually a point to consider when it comes to relationship. Like I mentioned earlier in the previous video, I said that relationship can actually come in different form, and what is satisfying one person might not actually be a point to consider in the other. That's why we have different levels to this thing. And if you notice that something is not actually working, it is very advisable and important to talk about it from the level of relationship before it actually leads to marriage. Because I have actually learned and noticed that some of these subtle signs that we see or that we just overlook, they are things that eventually escalate and turn into a big issue when two people eventually get settled. So it is advisable for you to actually start studying your relationship from the very stage of the time you start communicating so that you can get the silent things you need to put in place and also address the issues that might eventually turn into a big deal when you get settled. This video today I'm going to be starting with the controlling behavior, which I mentioned last in the previous video. When your soon-to-be husband is exhibiting a kind of behavior that shows that he's always controlling, he does not actually want you to have a voice of your own. I have gone through that and I know exactly what it feels like. Being with a man that does not really want you to have a voice, he just wants to dictate to you and you listen. You know, the person that he can even tell you this is the clothing you need to put on. And if you don't put on that clothing, there's going to be a very big issue. You are not living in the relationship for him, you are living for both of you. And you, as a single entity, you need to do whatever makes you happy. If it is not making you happy, fulfilling your intention and desire, your lifetime goals, it shows that it is not worthy to be in the first place. So if your soon-to-be husband is exhibiting this character, trying to dictate to, he's not even trying, he's dictating to you and giving you as an order because he believes he's in control. Telling you this is what you need to do, this is the time you need to get back from work, this is the type of work you should do, this is how you should dress, you shouldn't pick up the phone when he's there, you have to tell him your phone password, you know. Every part of your life is around him, and if he does not give you the instruction, you don't have to do things based on your own jurisdiction. I strongly suggest you start talking about this and take your decision. In fact, I have also learned that over the years in the studies, when somebody or a soon-to-be husband is exhibiting this behavior, it is best to try to, call them to order and try to make them see things. And if they fail to see things, it is best for you to leave because sometimes when it comes to behavior, you can hardly change people. Because when people are particularly used to a particular character trait, it is difficult for them to change. If you tell them to change, it will be easier when they see the reason to change and they decide to change, not because you are telling them. And that's what affects most of relationship today. You think or we believe we can actually change this guy, but they are not saying the reason to change. So because they are not saying the reason to change, it will be difficult for them to change. But when you continue to, persevere, eventually you realize that you are going to be the one losing more. You're going to be losing your identity, your purpose, your self-respect, your self-esteem. You'll be indulging in activities that does not give you a sense or a purposeful sense of living. The next thing on my list, which is the red flag relationship that has to do with the generalized concept of life, is lack of respect. When your guy or your man does not give you the respect you deserve, I'm not talking about him kneeling and falling on the floor for you to work on. I mean, he has to see the value of you being a woman. He has to give you the respect of you doing some things you do around the house. He has to appreciate the fact that you are beside him and you're giving him every possible part of it just to see him grow and thrive. He is not respecting the fact that you are doing some things, even if these things are not that much, but for you to have put your time, your mind, your emotions, your lifestyle to be able to fit into his lifestyle. He's not respecting you. It shows that he is not really a good one for you. When I mean respect, I mean the guys that maybe you're in the house, you're working, or you're probably doing some chores in the house, and he does not see the need to say, well, hold on, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate you coming over. Or he does not really see you when he calls you, wants you to come over. Maybe you have not been called before, and you call you and you show up. He does not appreciate little effort. Or in the public outside, when people talk back at you, he does not see the need to, to fight for you or to speak up for you when his relative or family are talking back at you or they address in a particular manner Or his friends are talking to you in a particular manner, he does not see the need to stand up for you. You know, it shows he does not respect you. You are telling him that you want to go for a particular business or a work, or you're going to be needing some time. Maybe you are going for a few days, or you need to get some things from him, or you should help you get some things from outside. You know, there are certain levels of disrespect, and if he's not exhibiting all these attributes, it shows he's not really a good one. It shows that when you eventually get settled with him and some of these notions are coming up, he will not give you the regard. Even if he wants to speak to a female in your presence, or the way he addresses other women outside in your presence, there should be level to this thing. Or both of you are walking outside and you're meant to do something together, or you want to speak with him outside, it does not give you that sense of respect. It shows both of you need to consider talking. The third thing on my list is emotional manipulation. When you have a guy that is always using your emotions to manipulate you. For example, now, when you have a guy that both of you say you're in a relationship, right? And then in the morning you chat him up. It takes fewer hours to reply. And eventually when he replies, he says he's busy in the morning, he has some work he's doing. And the second day, the same habit repeats itself. The third day, the same habit repeats itself. And you complain that, oh, I have some concerns about this thing. Whenever I chat to you, you take long to reply. And I don't know why that is happening. I chat you because I have concerns and I feel both of us are not just on the casual level. This is a relationship that is leading somewhere. And he replies you with, don't be too sensitive. I reply you based on the time I'm available. Because in the morning I don't wake up as soon as you do, and I try to come online to check messages. And when I check messages, I reply yours first. What happens to you waking up in the morning and saying hello to me, or replying my message first, or making that a priority for you to consider? But the fact that he has mentioned that don't be too sensitive, that shows that he's trying to manipulate you emotionally. He's trying to use your emotions to manipulate you. And it's the type of person that is so unstable. Today he confesses he loves you, and 2 3 days or 5 days after, nothing is showing up for it. It shows that he's the type of person that manipulates emotionally. And whenever he sees that he has done something wrong, instead of him coming to talk about things as a mature human being, he tries to use other activities like cuddling, like pegging, like bodily attachment, just for you to be able to look past the situation you have at hand. Or the person that whenever you communicate your emotional needs to him, that you miss him, at least sometimes you're supposed to probably go on video calls or on WhatsApp calls or talk about live. And it's not the type of person that sees that and always complain that you are too needing, or you are too attached, or you are too clingy without a particular point of reference or something important to consider. It shows that he is manipulating your emotion, and he sees that you actually care for him, and he does not feel the same that way, and he does not actually want to lose you, because there are some guys that when they see a woman is interested in them, they wouldn't want to lose those kind of women, but at the same time they want to put them in control based on their emotions. The next thing on my list is inconsistent action and words. There are so many guys that they don't actually act on what they say. Today they show up, tomorrow they are nowhere to be found. When they make promises, they forget. When they do something, they don't last. When they decide to do something, they don't stand by it. When they talk to you, they eventually come up with different notions not to complete the task. They are not the type of person that is consistent. They talk about something today and do the otherwise tomorrow. And when you remind them, they will be telling you that you are so sensitive and you can't expect him to do everything. Of course, I don't expect you to do everything, but there are some levels to the things you're going to do. If you're not doing this thing up to the point where I feel satisfied and fulfilling, it shows you're not doing at all. So the type of guy that is so inconsistent in his words action, a guy that loves you intentionally will continue to do whatever it takes just to see you happy and keep both of you in that level. And if the guy is not even trying at all, is going back and forth, it shows you really have another thing to consider looking at. The next thing on my list is bullying and self-condemn. I mentioned that in my previous video. Bullying is the point whereby the guy body shames you, or he talk back at you in a manner that does not appreciate you, either your body, your mentals, your physical lifestyle, your emotion. He talks at you without feeling sentimental. It talks in a manner that depreciates your value as a woman. And also, self-condemn means whatever you want to do with your life, it does not see positive in it. It condemns most of your attitude, the way you dress, the way you look, the way you talk, the way you respond, the way you walk, the way you do most of your things. It does not appreciate, just like the point I mentioned in point to lack of respect. It does not actually see the importance or the reason why you are there in the first place. You know, there are some men or relationships that when you walk into them, they uplift you more than you've ever known yourself for. They help you see beyond wherever you are, and they give you that relying mind that you are worthy of every good thing the world has to offer. But when your relationship is getting to a point whereby he's fond of bullying, he's fond of condemning you, he's fond of talking back at you and addressing you in a manner that does not uplift you, he talks at you in the manner that when you go home or you stay behind us, you cry, and you even question your existence. You don't even know the reason why you are there. And it makes you feel that living this relationship is the worst decision you can ever make. I strongly suggest you reconsider thinking and addressing the whole situation. And if you feel that this whole thing is going to nowhere, I strongly suggest you leave because there are so many men out there that will do what is expected of them over and again just to keep you in check and not to let you slip away through their fingers. So a guy that bully, that condemns you, that body shames you, I think is not worthy to be a future partner. The next thing on my list here is the guy that you don't actually have the same dream, career, or future ambition. You see, when it comes to dream and career, you know, I'm going to be talking in two concepts because sometimes we might not actually have the same career. But when we actually have a dream, we have a purposeful sense of living that we want to become this particular person. We want to have this kind of life. We want to have this kind of relationship. You want to have this kind of future. You are ambitious, you're career driven, and you have a dream, you have a purpose, a goal you are chasing. And your partner is not exhibiting that trait. And you that you are exhibiting that trait, it does not see it as need to be there. It shows you really have something important to consider, and you also have to consider the relationship if it is worth fighting for. I believe everybody is born into this world to carry out a duty, obligation, or purpose that can serve the entire human as a whole. But when your guy is not living for a dream, he does not see the reason to create a purposeful lifestyle for himself, he's not even bothered, he's not even trying, he's not even waiting on something better to happen to him. He's just living like a normal robot, waking up on each day and living the same cycle of life. And you that you're having a purpose to do or a purpose to build your life, he does not see it as something important. And instead, he slams your abilities and questions your potential. I think it's something you need to consider. And I think the last thing on my list, which is very important, is tranquility. Even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that He has actually created the opposite gender for us to find tranquility, that is a settlement lifestyle that comes with happiness and fulfillment. If your partner is not giving you that, you know, there is a way you look at your partner or your soon to be husband in a manner that when you look at him, you feel so relaxed and you feel safe under his arms. You feel so, you know, good. You just feel that ease in your mind as if nothing is wrong with you and nothing will happen for you. That is tranquility. You look at him and he sees you with self-compassion. He sees you with ease and he sees you as something very important to have. You know, when your soon to be is not exhibiting that part, it shows he's not actually standing in a very good spot for you. So these are the things I've actually noticed as red flags in relationship, and I believe you can always go on to search for more because sometimes, no matter how many videos you consume, when you stop checking or making notes and make findings on this things thoroughly, you will not actually be able to figure out the exact one that suits you. Until I see you in my next one. Bye.